And he is out of bounds here on the return.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they haven't had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So haven't been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field. And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
Two minutes gone by, second quarter. Barkley, inside handoff. Shrugs it off. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And this is picked up by the Saints. Down the left sideline. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line.
No coach or team's ever happy when someone has a turnover. But if there's ever a good time to do it,
preseason.
Yeah, right now. You know that come regular season, he's going to be ready to go. And maybe he'll remember, yeah, I don't want to do this when it comes time for the games to count.
The best starting field position you could possibly have. 1st and goal from the 1.
70 Lions. Shot alert, shot alert.
They'll try to run this one in. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal.
Let's go. 60 Eagles, 79 Broncos.
They're going to look to throw. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. Trenton Simpson, well, he just flew in there to drop him. Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal.
Warriors, Cougar 19. Buffalo 18.
Now back to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a 1st down.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Field goal would break the tie, but look at this. Instead, they're going to go for it on 4th and goal. They'll look to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. From 4 yards out. And the Saints take a chance, but they find pay dirt on 4th and goal.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. A little juke. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter. 14-7. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula that got them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe get this game tied up.
And that is incomplete. Wow, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. That's on the tackle, Penei Sewell. Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. Back to throw. Bates. His throw incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Now here's a throw out wide. Oh, this might be a double pass. That'll be incomplete. Well, dip it into the bag of tricks there, but it does not work out, and it's 4th down now. The Steelers send out their punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and the second. Still have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. They'll win on 1st down. Fletcher. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. 2nd and 9.
1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9.
They'll drop the throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. But I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So the kick from here on a field goal would have been right at 53 yards, but instead, offense out there. They're going for it. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that. But by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down.
But when it's 4th and inches, shouldn't you pick up the 1st down? I mean, shouldn't you go for it? I mean, if you can't get inches, right, why are you playing?
And on inches, that's your favorite play, right? Don't mess with handing it off. Just go ahead and get the surge and go right up the gut. Exactly.
Create that. Just a little bit of space should get it done. You're almost able to take the snap, just fall down and pick it up. They got it there.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Just a gain of a couple there. And that'll make it second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Here's 2nd and 8. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
They'll look to throw here on first down. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's second down. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Here now, 2nd and 4. He'll look to throw. Down inside the 10. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. That one, a first down pickup of 8. And that extra yardage makes this upcoming field goal attempt much more manageable.
Agreed, because when you talk to defensive coordinators, they always tell us the 35-yard line on our side of the field, that's the line we guard the most aggressively, because once they get there, they believe they're in field goal range.
They'll throw now on the final play. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal. 18 Rattler, 18 Rattler. 19 tight, 19 tight. Ready?
They'll look to throw again. And he comes back with one complete. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. Probably not likely to see many starters in the second half as we get back at it underway in this preseason opener. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. And what's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
From the 33, here's 2nd and a yard. Looking to throw. Baker. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Ball at the 40 here for 2nd and 5. Back to throw. Baker. Wide this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big pickup of 38.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Baker, off play action. Short throw caught by Pitts. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6.
Let's go. 79. 60 Eagles. 60 Eagles. Go.
Back to throw again. Over the middle, it's complete. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. Here's Baker throwing on 4th down. And I think the ball's out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. It is a deep. Have it they do, says the referee. We're going the other way. So that challenge not successful there, and that's going to cost him the first of his timeouts. Barkley. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6.
Well, these are the situations that come up in practice and are talked about all the time. This is as tough as it gets for a defense. They've got to defend a very short field after that turnover. They're not home yet, but a really nice job there pushing them backwards on 1st and goal.
Second and 6. And he's got it. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. From 6 yards away. And the Steelers take the forced fumble and convert it into 6 points. Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 14. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
At their own 24-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. We got a brand new ball game, all even after that last touchdown, so every drive now becoming a little more critical here in the second half. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He's turning in a nice performance. Remember, he had the touchdown earlier, and this time he's able to beat double coverage to grab it.
I think that if he weren't worried about a taunting penalty, he'd run by the opposing team's bench and say, guys, two's not going to be enough. You better get some more guys trying to cover me. He knows how to get open downfield.
He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
We always hear from coaches how much they like to run crossing routes because they want to hit their receivers on the go, get them the ball, and keep them moving. How about when you hit a tight end that way? Okay, the receivers are going to run past you most of the time. The tight end, they can do their damage a different way, break a few tackles and really scatter some people, can't they?
Up the middle they go. It's Fletcher. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
70 Timberwolves, 7 Pirates, 7 Pirates. Come 19, come 19.
He'll drop to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass.
Warriors, 70. 60 Maverick, 60 Maverick.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sack. Everybody was coming on the blitz that time, and they got home.
And you know the expression, hat on a hat, in terms of blocking, trying to keep your quarterback protected? Well, if you don't have enough hats, that's the end result. Your quarterback goes down, and sometimes he goes down hard.
Now he'll tuck this and run. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. But it looks like one of the DBs has it. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. And that, Charles, you'd have to think a pretty avoidable mistake.
You're exactly right about that, partner, because it all comes down to covering up the football. Look, turnovers are going to happen. They're inevitable. But in a tie game in the 3rd quarter, those turnovers can change the tide of the ball game. And now it's up to their defense to try and bail them out. Got to take care of the rock.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. Well, injury's never good, especially here in the preseason. Hopefully nothing serious. They'll take a look at him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Here's 3rd and 6. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
On the throw, let him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Had an open man that time and ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. That's caught. The tight end Loveland with it. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. 3 quarters in the books. You're watching preseason football on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. A field goal from this spot would be 51 yards. They'll try to move it closer on third down. They'll try to run for it with Barkley. A great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps them pick up the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, this can be so demoralizing for a defense. They've had 2 opportunities to get off the field. They haven't gotten it done. So now your coordinator is going to call every blitz that he has, any type of exotic, something that they haven't seen before. And he's also telling the defensive lineman, don't worry about holding people up. Just get in gaps and try and make a big play.
And not only not getting off the field on 2 opportunities, clock continuing to run. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. They'll run wide side here with Barkley. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets them back now for 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses have a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right, you look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss.
60 Eagles, 60 Eagles.
Looking to throw. Baker. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Saints are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. Well, they were in a great position to take the lead, Charles. Obviously, all they needed was a field goal to do that. They wanted the touchdown. Unfortunately, they're going to get neither.
And you know every offense talks about the same thing each week, don't they, Brandon? They want to end every drive with a kick, whether it's a field goal attempt, a point after the touchdown, or at worst, a punt. This time they had that opportunity but didn't get it because you know the field shrinks that close to the end zone, and that allows the defense to tighten up their coverage, and they pick that one off.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Fletcher. And just not a ton of room to work with. They'll get it to the 15 for a gain of 2. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The Saints on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now a handoff up the middle. Fletcher. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going for this thing on 4th down. Back to throw here. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. This is 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Gardner. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. An 18-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers have broken our tie and have taken a fourth-quarter lead. Extra point splits the uprights. And the lead is now 21-14.
Saints 14.
Here's the Steelers kick team as they'll boot this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
At their own 24-yard line.
On the set.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
60 Maverick. 18 Cardinal. 18 Cardinal. Warriors 70.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And his throw is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Mustang 19. 70 Rangers. 70 Rangers.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line. A lot on the line here, even for just a preseason game. Jobs to be won and lost. It's 3rd down. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They face a critical 3rd down now, needing a score here in the late going. We'll see what they have drawn up here, a little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down.
7 Pirates. 79 Bronco. 18 Pioneer. Panther 11. Panther 11. Cub 19. Cub 19.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
60 Maverick. 60 Maverick. Let's go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he is going to have the Saints 1st down, and that was something else. A big pickup on 4th and long to give them a new set of downs.
I like what they did there, still keeping their tight ends involved. They understand it's not quite Hail Mary time just yet.
19 tight. 19 tight.
He'll look to throw. And that one nearly intercepted. That would have sealed it. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
Dragon 60.
They'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now.
Here we go. Sack. Hawks 18. Pioneer. Buffalo 18.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Steelers are close to finishing off this football game. And the knee is taken for the Steelers out of the victory formation.
Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but